Hey guys, Ivan here with another video for today. I had to make this video right now because we got some breaking news, some really interesting news. Hany Rambod has officially retired from coaching. What a year, man. So many crazy things happened in bodybuilding this year. Chris Bumstead is retiring from competing. Matt Jansen recently announced his retirement from coaching, also one of the top coaches in the world. And today, I think it's pretty safe to say, the top coach, one of the most successful coaches of all time, if not the most successful coach of all time, Hany Rambod once again retired from coaching the elite athletes, and this draws a lot of interesting questions. Before we get to those questions, I want to show you guys what he wrote on his IG, the post he made. So he says a lot of interesting things here, but the most interesting one is highlighted right here in yellow, and he says, "Coaching at this elite level has given me everything and allowed me to build an incredible life for Cam, I guess his son, Miss Naz, I guess his wife, I don't know, and myself. But it has also taken away time, focus, and presence from them both. This Prague show will be my last as far as prepping elite athletes. I need to refocus my time and efforts on my family and shift into bigger role of sharing my knowledge and experience from the past 30 years with more of you in the bodybuilding community." And then he says, "These Olympia and Arnold preparations require a level of hyper-focus and mental bandwidth that most can't imagine. They occupy so much of my mind and time to stay at that level. I'm grateful to have done it for so many years, but now it's time to evolve and grow." Alright, I mean, it makes sense, I guess. I'm sure it was extremely tough, for him to coach these guys. I can't even imagine. I'm a coach myself, but I work with, of course, much lower level of athletes. I can't imagine what kind of pressure it puts on you to work with the absolute best guys in the world. He's coaching 2 out of top 3 guys in the open, and then also he was coaching the best guy in classic physique. One of the biggest, probably the biggest name in bodybuilding, Chris Bumstead. All the while he was running his supplement company, Evogen Nutrition, and he wasn't really coaching too many clients. He had those top names and some other guys in other divisions. I think he won 25 Olympia titles across all divisions. You guys probably know he coached the Jay Cutler back in the day, Phil Heath, and many others. And from what I heard, he wasn't willing to coach, anybody. He was coaching basically mostly his athletes, Evogen athletes. And of course, he had to accept Chris Bumstead. I'm sure it helped his brand a lot. But I'm sure also it took a lot of energy, a lot of focus. And, I think he accomplished all he could accomplish as a coach. And of course, he has a good reason to retire at this point. Let me also show you what he said, a part of what he said in his YouTube video about this.
There's a reason why I only have a handful of people I do it with, because it's not something I can be able to scale.
No.
It's a formula that I literally take on the burden of their emotional feeling and their emotional, energy.
Yeah.
And it's very, very difficult to not do that and to separate.
Yeah.
And so for me, talked a lot about it with Cbum as he was winding down for the prep, and it's just he's very articulate, and he does such a great job of being able to put emotions into words.
Correct.
And I feel like it's just not closing a door but opening another. I've been talking about this off and on for many years, even when I was coaching Phil back in the day, of when I'm going to stop.
Yep.
And I had a great career.
If you guys are interested, you should go to Hany Rambod's YouTube channel and watch the whole thing. But now we are left with a couple of questions. So first of all, Hany Rambod is coaching once again 2 of the top 3 open bodybuilders, Derek Lunsford and Hadi Choopan. And then also Chris Bumstead. This is going to be basically the last show Chris is going to do, unless he wins the Prague Pro. In that case, I guess anything is possible. But Chris made a post already about Hany Rambod, and here he says a couple of things, many things, but the most interesting one is here in the end. He says, one last run tomorrow, and we can celebrate the new beginning together as old, retired men talking about our glory days. So this kind of sounds like Chris is done. It sounds like Chris is not gonna do the Open Olympia. He never really said that he won't do it for sure. In his YouTube video, he said basically, I might do it, I might not, I don't know. But also on Fuad's podcast, he was like, as of right now, I'm going to be retiring, but who knows if I'm going to change my mind. And if he wins this show, there is a big possibility that he's going to change his mind. In that case, who's going to be coaching Chris? Would he go with a new coach, somebody like Stefan Kinsel, who would be now the top coach now that Hany is retired? I think Chris would do really well if he went back to his brother-in-law, basically a top 7 Olympian, Ian Valliere, because these guys had great success together. Ian knows Chris's body, he understands his autoimmune system disease, and I think these guys won 3 Olympias together, and Chris won another 3 with Hany Rambod. And during that time, Ian was still competing. He was a top 7 Olympian. He won, I don't know how many, like 6 shows, and he was still coaching Chris very successfully. Now that Ian is retired as well, I think he would do even a better job with Chris than back then. And now that Chris would be doing Open, I think Ian would be a really good fit again. But let's not jump ahead of ourselves. We don't know if Chris is going to be doing the Open Olympia. However, Hany Rambod retiring did leave Derek coachless. Who the hell is going to be Derek's next coach? So Derek also made a post about this. I don't want to highlight anything from here because nothing here is very interesting. But I do think this is a very tricky one because I think, from what I heard as well, I think Hany Rambod is has a very, very good psychological approach. And I think Derek is somebody who needs that very, very much. So I think he's kind of a little bit unstable in that sense. Kind of like similar to Nick Walker, but probably worse. So I don't think Derek is going to just go with anybody. Who the hell is going to coach him now? I think maybe Stefan Kinsel would do a very good job with Derek, but Stefan has way too many clients at this point. He can't coach everybody on the Mr. Olympia stage. I don't know who's going to coach Derek. I have no idea. I don't have any ideas at this point. I don't see him working with somebody like Patrick Tuor or Milos Sarcev. Matt Jensen is retired. Hany, of course, is retired. Stefan Kinsel is one of the top coach right now, I gotta say. So I think that kind of makes the most sense, but maybe it's gonna be somebody who we don't even know about, who is not that popular, something like what Nick Walker did with Kyle Wilkes. I don't know, guys. Tell me your suggestions down below, but yeah, it's gonna be very tricky for Derek now without Hany Rambod. I feel like Hany had a really big role in making Derek the champion that he is. Now without Hany, how he's gonna do... I don't think he's gonna do that well, but then again, also I was very suspicious about Samson Dauda, how he's gonna do without Milos Sarcev, but apparently he did great, he did better. So maybe Derek is gonna come back and win the Mr. Olympia with a different coach. We don't know, it might get tricky, but it's nowhere near as complicated as it is with Hadi Choopan. Why? Well, simply because Hadi doesn't speak English. And Hany Rambod speaks Farsi. He is, I think, also from Iran. So who the hell is Hadi going to work with now? I don't see him working with somebody who doesn't speak Farsi. And if he goes with somebody local, somebody from Iran, are they going to be good enough to coach a former Mr. Olympia, the Arnold Classic champion, somebody who could have won the Mr. Olympia next year if Hany was prepping him? Now, without Hany, can Hadi really come back and look his best? I don't know, but I think in this case, the language barrier is probably the biggest issue. The only issue, I think Hadi is like a lot more stable, a lot more stoic. I think he doesn't require crazy amount of attention. I think he can get ready basically by himself. He just needs another set of eyes, really. and somebody just to direct him a little bit more. So I think Hadi doesn't need somebody who is super knowledgeable. I think Hadi knows what he's doing. He has been competing on a super high level since ever. So I think Hadi will make it work. I think Derek will as well. I think Chris can do very well without Hany Rambod as well if he continues competing during the Open. But it is complicated. It's definitely a trouble for these guys. I'm sure they're not very happy that Hany is retired now. But it is what it is. You guys tell me down below in the comment section, what do you think about this? Hany Rambod, the best coach in the world, has retired from coaching bodybuilders. Whatever is on your mind, guys, tell me down below in the comment section. Once again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. For more content like this, for the Prague Pro coverage tomorrow, stay tuned, subscribe to this channel. And if you guys wanted to hire Hany to coach you, and now you realize that he's not coaching anymore, you can hire me instead. I'm not gonna do probably as good of a job as Hany, but I did pretty well with my clients. You can check them out on my IG, so just DM me on Instagram, we can talk about it. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you soon, all the best, and bye-bye.